Hey, it's Shelley from Best Buy Canada's blog, and this week I've been testing out the Arlo Ultra 4K wire-free security camera. This is the latest Arlo camera. It has the absolute best picture that I've seen on a security camera. It does have a few limitations that I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to start with the features. This camera has a spotlight built in. It works with a lithium-ion rechargeable battery that's very long-lasting. It has motion detection and identification, and it comes with an extra strong magnet mount. You can mount this camera indoors or outdoors. It's completely weatherproof. Arlo cameras in the past that I've used have been good up until about -20 for a Canadian winter. As you can see, that magnet is extra strong. It's difficult to pry off with one hand. You can remove the lithium-ion battery, and it is actually out of the box when you're setting up the camera. On the casing of the actual camera is a sync button, so that's how you sync the camera with the base station. The kit comes with the new Smart Hub, and that Smart Hub will control all of your Arlo cameras if you have other cameras as well. This package also comes with the 1 year of the Arlo Smart Premier subscription plan. So that plan lets you add 10 cameras and stores your clips for up to 30 days. With this camera, when it detects motion, you can ask it to turn the spotlight on. It's an option within the app. I've triggered motion here with the camera while I was holding it, and that's just a shot of the spotlight. There's the mount. As you can see, it's versatile. You can move it all over the camera, letting you even mount it hanging upside down if you choose to do that. The Arlo Ultra comes with a included plug for charging. I plugged it in and it took about an hour. I believe it was about 50% battery already though, but it took about an hour to charge it, and I think it's been almost 2 weeks, and I'm still using it, and I still have approximately 70% charge, so the battery is extremely long lasting. There are 2 microphones built into this camera, and you can use the two-way talk feature to talk to whoever's out there. Here's a test of the talk. Couldn't get a clip of me talking back to my son on the camera. It was a little choppy, and I find that interference of any kind will really affect two-way talk on this camera. So if you've got something running in the background of where you are, you will actually be able to hear a little bit of a crackling. Here's a few clips that I captured with the Arlo Ultra. You can hear the sound quality very well. When it detects motion, it tells you what that motion is. So in this case, it detected motion and it told me there was an animal in my driveway, when in fact there are many animals in my driveway all the time. So I really appreciate that. The motion tracking will zoom in and grab image of whoever that is or whatever that is, so it will zoom in if you have that set up. You can't set motion tracking on auto detect or motion tracking on when you're live streaming 4K video. This is a 4K stream that I captured, so the audio is very clear, the picture is very clear, but you can't use, like I said, you can't use the auto detect and zoom when you're viewing in live 4K. This camera has a extra wide field of view. It's a super wide field of view. It's 180 degrees. You can also set it for a smaller field of view if you'd like. One of the features that blew my mind was the color night vision. As you can see, the color night vision has kicked in here. It's not the spotlight, it's actually the color night vision. Everything is crisp and clear, and I find that, I feel that this would really assist with any sort of identification if there is an intruder in your yard. Low light looks crisp and clear, and it can even capture motion from a distance. Like if you can see on the right hand side behind the red car, there's a dog that it picked up and it was trying to track. Motion and audio sound are not triggered by wind with this camera. You can actually set the audio to ignore wind. And it also has a siren and a spotlight. So this is a demo of the siren. I'm just walking from my house to the shed. The spotlight will appear if you have it set. When motion is detected, it'll turn on, and then you can play the siren from within the app. In previous generations of Arlo, the siren was in the Smart Hub, which is in your house, which is actually kind of pointless because you may not, if you're outside and the camera's outside, you may not be able to hear that siren. So I really like having the siren on the camera. This is similar feature to what's on Arlo Go. and you can hit that siren, and as you could hear, it was pretty loud. I think it would deter anybody who wasn't supposed to be in your yard. You can watch your Arlo clips or view a live 4K stream right on your 4K TV. This is my Roku 4K TV, and I have the Arlo Streaming off of my Apple box. So it's a really nice feature. You can just download the app and you can watch any stream that you'd like to. All of the options for the Arlo Ultra are available within the Arlo app. So I have named this camera Driveway. If I'm going to change the settings, I will click on Video Settings. Within Video Settings, you can pinch and zoom your clips. You can pinch and zoom any of the clips for that matter. If you want to zoom in while you're watching live, or you want to zoom in while you're watching a clip, you just pinch, zoom, and you can see detail. You can set this camera for auto HDR. You can also set this camera for local 4K live streaming. If you tap 4K streaming, you can't use the auto zoom and tracking feature. So I've generally been using the auto zoom because I really like how it will focus on whoever's in the yard. I recommend that you set this to best video, even if it does decrease your battery life slightly. I've had it set to best video and a super wide field of view, and I haven't had any troubles at all with the battery life so far. Just like other Arlo cameras, you can set motion detection or activity zones, so it's just easy to pull and tweak where you would like the motion to be detected, and that eliminates the false detections that you might get on the edges of your screen. Within the audio options, you can set it to reduce wind noise. As you can see, I've got the microphone speaker and the speaker volume at 100%. You can use the Smart Hub micro SD slot to store your video. I have a micro SD in there right now. So that will store your clips or your 4K video recordings until it's full, and then it'll overwrite them. Here's a look at one day of my library of clips. As you can see, it identifies motion, person, or animal, which makes it super easy to know whether or not to click within the app. And Arlo is also beta testing a package detection option on this camera. I'm not quite sure how it works. I didn't test it, but it would be really useful, especially if you get a lot of packages delivered the way I do. The only downside that I can see to this camera is the range. I have my Smart Hub and my router directly between those two windows, and this camera is placed not too far from my house, about 50 feet, maybe 70 feet the shed would be, and I have 2 bars of Wi-Fi. I do maintain a steady connection at that distance, but I believe that any farther out, and I would have to get a range extender, or I would have to bring one of my pods from my mesh Wi-Fi out into the yard to bounce the signal. I did read up on range on the Arlo website, and I completely understand what they say with how with a 4K video stream, the farther out you get, the lower quality of stream you're going to get. So the only recommendation I can make is to put your Smart Hub and your router as close to the windows as possible if it's outside, or as close to the camera as possible, and you will maintain a steady stream. Overall, I absolutely love this camera. There are no downsides when you have a 4K security stream out in your yard. It makes me feel more comfortable about somebody coming into the yard, especially at night, because of that color vision. It's easy to use, easy to install. It maintains a good connection to the Smart Hub. The downside with the range, I mean, I'm perfectly happy where the camera is right now, so I really don't feel as though I need to have it any farther out. I have other cameras that have motion detection and tracking. This one's a little bit choppy, but it does get the job done, there's no question. And the 4K live streaming is absolutely beautiful. The video clips that I've included in this video don't do it justice because I've had to import them into a video editor and then upload them. You have to actually see this 4K stream for yourself to understand how clear and crisp it is. So that's it for my look at the Arlo Ultra 4K. I'm really excited for what Arlo will be coming out with in the future, if this camera is any indication of what they're developing. You can see my full written review as well as other photos on Best Buy Canada's blog. Thanks for watching.